You've got a couple of inexperienced defensemen in the lineup tonight, Trent, and how are you planning on using Blacker and Clark in this game against an explosive club?
Well, we'll try and mesh them in here with a few of our guys that have played a few more games than 10. But it's a good challenge for them. They're excited about the opportunity, and what better way to measure yourself against a team that's won the Stanley Cup.
Thanks for the insights, Trent, and good luck.
Thank you.
3 of the 6 defensemen dressed today for the Ducks were not on the opening night roster. They include Blacker, who makes his NHL debut today, Josh Manson, who had no NHL experience, and Matt Clark, the old man, who had 2 games of NHL experience coming into the season.
I mentioned it in the pregame. Clark's the old man back on the blue line at the ripe old age of 24.
He's a graybeard.
Yeah, huge challenge for the Ducks, and a lot of the onus on the Anaheim forwards here. Keep pressuring the Blackhawk defense and make them play in their own end as much as you possibly can.
The referees for today's game are Greg Kimmerly and Dave Jackson. The linesmen are John Grant and Mike Civic. Underway, the Hawks in their road whites with black numbers get it deep into the Anaheim zone. It's forced back out, and Brent Seabrook hoists it back. I thought that might have hit somebody on the bench. It did, and then it came back onto the ice surface, and a hand pass is actually called. So the game's first whistle, and there's a look at the 11th different Ducks defenseman to dress in this game, number 24, Jesse Blacker, a 23-year-old native of Toronto, Ontario.
Yeah, they picked up Blacker, of course, from the Maple Leafs when they dealt Peter Holland and Brad Staubitz there. They also got a couple of draft picks, the Ducks did, in that deal as well, but his NHL debut tonight.
Ricard Raquel draws back into the Anaheim lineup. He'll center the 4th line here tonight. Remember, Devontae Smith-Pelly had that job on Tuesday against Calgary. And it's Raquel out there right now with Smith-Pelly on his right, and the former Blackhawk Rennie Bork. And the Ducks throw it into the Chicago zone from the wrong side of the red line, so icing is the call. And we go back a few hours this morning. Ben Lovejoy, remember him? He's been out the last 14 games, doing a little skating on his own this morning in preparation. We were initially told, Brian, 6 to 8 weeks on his injury. He's just a little past a month.
Yeah, this is a hand injury for Lovejoy. Hand injury for Francois Beauchemin. It's the mumps that is keeping Clayton Stoner out of the lineup.
All the usual injuries.
Yeah.
Face off to the right of Anderson. Pardon me, Brian.
I was going to say unique challenge here for the Ducks, for their team, for the coaching staff. It's going to be very interesting as Trent Yawney was referencing. These are 2 young players in Clark and Blacker without a lot of NHL experience, and you got to figure that Fowler, Vatanen, Lindholm, and Manson are going to play more minutes tonight than perhaps they have played at any point this regular season.
Chris Versteeg sends it wide of the Anaheim goal. The Hawks are on their seasonal circus trip, they call it, around this time of year. They leave Chicago every year and give United Center up to the circus. They're 3-1 on this 6-game trip, which will conclude tomorrow night down the road at Staples Center. They're just 6-5 on the road this season as Ben Smith is forced behind his own goal. The Hawks come in 3rd in the Central Division and just 7th in the West. It's early, but so accustomed to seeing Chicago, Brian, at the top of the heap or near the top of the Western Conference pile year in, year out. That's a little far down the line for them.
Well, you know what? They're rounding into form. It was a kind of an uninspired start to the season for Chicago, but on this circus trip, 3-1 as you mentioned, and the goals have started to come. The Blackhawks have not been a very high-scoring team this season, and that's probably the biggest surprise of all.
Stretch pass at center is picked off by Lindholm, and he didn't wait long enough for the mates to get onside, and he takes a bump after the whistle. Well, as we mentioned, this has become a tradition here in Anaheim, the Black Friday matinee, and Anaheim has fared well, a good bit of it, against these Blackhawks.
And it's a little bit counterintuitive, quite honestly. Most coaches will tell you that they feel it's a disadvantage to be playing at home following Thanksgiving. They'd almost prefer to be on the road where they can, shall we say, control the players' diets.
Control the environment.
Environment a little bit more closely. Doesn't seem to have bothered the Ducks, however.
Crawford wanders out his first touch as he moves it to Duncan Keith. And Brian Bickle just nudges it out of the zone. Palmieri on the back check, broke it up, and Cam Fowler works it into the middle of the ice. Palmieri gains the line as Maroon set him up, and it's slapped away by Duncan Keith. Keith has started to play much more like the 10-year veteran that everyone is accustomed to seeing, a two-time Norris Trophy winner. He's picked up the offense a bit of late, and that has a lot to do with why Chicago has started to find themselves offensively as a team. Pressure on Palmieri, but he sidesteps the on-rushing Marian Hossa. Hossa had 9 shots on goal in the Hawks' win on Wednesday in Denver over the Colorado Avalanche, but he has struggled. 1 goal in the last 12 games for Marian Hossa entering this afternoon.
Well, my frame of reference for Marian Hossa was the game that the Ducks played against the Blackhawks in Chicago.
He was a monster.
He was the best player on the ice. So
he always seems to be at his best against Anaheim. I'm sure a lot of teams feel that way. The one they call Haas. And look at him. This is what makes him so good. Not the most physical hockey player, but so strong and almost impossible to get the puck away from. Roosevelt hinges it back. And now the Hawks regroup as the Ducks get a change. Patrick Kane lays it back and then gets it through the middle of the ice with full speed. Lindholm steps into him. It comes over to Brad Richards, and he just had it roll right off the end of his stick. Spun to the line, and Seabrook didn't hold the zone, so he's forced back through neutralized. Johnny Aduya into the middle for Brad Richards. Versteeg pulls up in the neutral zone, loses it, but jumping into a passing lane, it's Seabrook for Kane. Here's Richards, and a save by Anderson, who fought it off with the glove. And the Ducks will clear the hard way as it's muscled up the wall all the way down. Icing will be the call on Smith Pellet.
one of the tactics, of course, when you're dealing with Patrick Kane in the neutral zone is to send a whole bunch of bodies his way. Look how the Ducks converge on Kane. He still manages to spot Brad Richards, who then just whiffs on that shot. But you know, the interesting thing about a game like this, Freddie Anderson, every single time he gets a chance to hold on to the puck, he's going to do that. Give Bruce Boudreau the opportunity to get the defensive matchups he wants.
Carcillo chips it over top of the net. Nice setup by Bickle. Bickle had one of the 3 goals in Colorado. Now he sets up Aduya, and it's another glove save by Anderson. And he has Aduya looking up at the lights after that one.
He made it look awfully easy, didn't he? It's interesting to me how Freddie Anderson holds his glove when he faces this shot. Watch the left hand of the goaltender. See him holding it high? He's almost challenging Johnny Aduya to go somewhere else with that shot. And when he shoots it up high, Freddie Anderson says, well, that's fine with me. That's the old show it to you and not take it away. Just hold the left hand there. And Aduya snaps it right into the middle of the mitt.
Aduya has had some good offensive seasons. This one so far has not been one of them. He has only a goal and 2 points on the season. Now the Ducks a little sloppy in their own zone, and Kane pitches it to the corner. Vatanen will go hard around this time, and waiting for it is Aduya, and he forces Perry back. 2 shots on goal in the game. They both belong to the Blackhawks, who now will have to chase, and it's Hjalmarsson back in his own zone. One of the defensemen the Ducks want to get bumps on. Hjalmarsson has been top 10 in the league in giveaways the last couple of seasons, including coming into today, so they want to pressure him whenever they can. Boy, nice job there on Ben Smith, stepping up with Sammy Vatanen, who got one of the better hits of the day for Anaheim. Keith chips it up the boards, and Nordstrom gets it all the way in, waiting for it to enter the trapezoid. Anderson sends it back up the wall. And look at Keith jump around Palmieri to keep it in. There's Jesse Blacker in his NHL debut. He rims it to the line. Seabrook held it in. Hawks bring it across the top of the slot. Nice pad save with the right leg from Anderson, as Hossa got a lot on that. Kessler forces it out and gets it ahead for Maroon. Maroon forced wide, tries to get it back to the front of the net. It skips in behind. Palmieri got a bump on Keith, and then Maroon got a hit on Saad, and Maroon, I think, got clipped by a high stick.
This is the matchup Bruce Boudreau looking for. Ryan Kessler on the ice. Whenever John Taves is out there, just slightly ahead of the playoff side. It's a defensive struggle in the early going this afternoon at Honda Center.
No score early on at Honda Center between the Blackhawks and Ducks. Aerial coverage provided by DirecTV today. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. Well, if you're trying to avoid the crowds at the malls and trying to enjoy the leftovers, this is the place to be.
Well, you can sit at home, watch the game, go online, take advantage of all the sales on Black Friday.
They sell stuff on the interweb?
Yeah. One of these days I'll sit you down and show you.
Man, that sounds pretty cool, actually. Getzlaf to the corner, and he kicks it loose for a moment. Marcus Kruger was in there. Now it squirts out to Hjalmarsson, who tees it up and gets the high glass. Beduya all the way to the hash mark. Kruger quickly centers, nobody home, and Hjalmarsson will hold his own. Behind the net, Ben Smith spins to the forehand. Anderson read that nicely and stayed on that far post.
Hawks have been raving about the performance of their fourth line. Joel Quenneville has a ton of confidence playing them against other teams' top lines, and they're doing a real nice job here against the Getzlaf Terry trio.
Centering pass intended for Kruger comes back to Hjalmarsson, and his bid is blocked. The block shots are so important against a team like Chicago that does such a good job at getting pucks to the net. And Anderson trying to catch the Hawks on a change, shovels it all the way to the far blue line. Cogliano gets it to the net, and Crawford stabs it to the corner where Steek takes a hit from Thompson. And the puck is there for Cogliano. Nate Thompson here on Tuesday against Calgary, credited with 5 hits in that game, and he goes right back to the front of the net. They got a redirect there.
Vatanen, good point shot, good low shot, just threw it into an area.
Now it's Fowler, middle of the ice. Cogliano, stick save, rebound chopped wide by Thompson. Kane can't clear, and again holding the line, it's Fowler. So it's Anaheim's turn to get the Hawks penned in. Vatanen throws it towards the net, tipped by Silverberg. It skitters wide. Seabrook sends it ahead, 2-on-1 as he got it right on the tape for Richards. He takes the shot and scores. He had Versteeg with him, used him as a decoy, and has his 4th of the year.
It's a 2-on-1 break for the Blackhawks, and Brad Richards has always had one of the game's great snapshots. And he is just going to pull this puck into his wheelhouse, and he zips it to go underneath the glove. We'll get a better look at it right here. Yes, just underneath the catching glove of Frederik Andersen. Richards gives the Hawks a 1-0 lead. Boy, just prior to that, the Ducks had great pressure. But Chicago plays that stretch game. They are always looking
they love that
for
pass,
the long
don't they?
pass. They try and open up the sheet of ice. It pays off for them there. It was Brent Seabrook that was able to headman that puck all the way from the corner up to center ice to Brad Richards, and he converts on the 2-on-1.
So Richards, who was bought out of the final 6 years of his deal by the Rangers in the offseason, has started to find his offensive footing after a slow start here with the Hawks. And he has his 4th of the year from Seabrook. It's 1-0 Chicago. Kessler backhands it in. Crawford is there to play it. Crawford 3rd in the league in goals against average coming into today. Frederik Andersen is 5th, so we got a good goaltending matchup here. Now it's Taves into the Anaheim zone. Tries to stutter step and go wide on Manson, but he'll have none of it. And Palmieri back to center. Rims it around, and the 14-year veteran Michael Rozsival is there to play it out of the Czech Republic. Rozsival came to North America to play his junior hockey in Swift Current. Raquel pitchforks it in on the backhand. Hawks moving quickly. Bickle got it into the middle. And the support from Andy Shaw. Up the wing, Carcillo's shot in the glove of Anderson.
You know, just prior to Brad Richards giving Chicago the lead in this game, the Ducks had pressure. They had a couple of good chances. That was a double deflection right in front of Corey Crawford, and then Cogliano up high with a couple of his line mates sniffing around looking for a rebound. Looked like Nate Thompson may have batted that rebound right out of midair. Crawford does what he has to do, makes that first stop, relies on his defense, a very mobile Blackhawk defense to clear rebounds.
Making his 13th consecutive start this afternoon for the Hawks. Crawford at the other end. Frederik Andersen making his 10th consecutive start. And he looks at a face-off to his right. Anderson, who has won his last 3, credited with 5 saves here early on. This one triples through to him, and a little bit of havoc as it never actually came cleanly to him. And then Raquel played it up to Bork, who didn't have a stick. And he was in a tough spot there as he ended up having to take the hit from Rozsival. Carcillo storms right back in. Takes it across the top of the zone. Bolesky reaching, forces him wide. Shaw sweeps it along for Bickle. Hawks changing defense. And Smith comes off the bench. Pass was in his feet, but he's able to keep it in the zone. Oh, then he got hit by Vatanen. Perry picks up the loose change, and Fowler joins the rush. Right back to Perry, redirects it in off a stanchion, went right to the front of the Chicago goal. Kruger trying to backhand it out, but it was kept in. Initially by Getzlaf, and then the Hawks on a second effort able to clear. We're just past the halfway mark of the opening period.
John, I was saying that the Ducks without Stoner and Boschman and Fistrick don't really have a hitter back on the blue line. And Sami Vatanen is making a liar out of me here. He's had 3 or 4 good bumps already in this game.
He's auditioning for the role, if nothing else, as Aduya's long wrist shot is held by Anderson. The Hawks draw first blood. Sunshine on the outside of Honda Center. A little dark on the inside on Black Friday as the Hawks have the game's only goal. Longtime Tampa Bay Lightning, Dallas Star, and New York Ranger Brad Richards has the only goal of the game. Came at 7:58 and he steps in to take the draw. Recently put on this second line with Versteeg and Kane. Richards has found his offense, and not maybe coincidentally as well, Brian, so has Patrick Kane. 11 points in his last 6 games.
Yeah, and boy, what a luxury for Joel Quenneville to say, you know what, I think I'll slide Patrick Kane down onto my third line or my second line.
Let me try him with the former Conn Smythe winner. Here he is, Richards tees it up, and a blocker save by Anderson. Much more noticeable already here this afternoon than Richards was in the first meeting between these two clubs. Seabrook misfires on a one-timer. Keith pounces on it to keep it alive. Kane circles back into the zone. Long wrist shot glove by Anderson. Well, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one throughout the broadcast here this afternoon, coming up later we'll have Miller time. One of the key moments in today's game between the Blackhawks and the Ducks, brought to you by our friends at Miller Lite.
Shots on goal to this point, 10-1 now in favor of the Blackhawks, and the Ducks have had a tough time dealing with the pressure of Chicago in the offensive zone. They're a very quick team, and the pressure seems to come in waves.
Well, this is no surprise to Bruce Boudreau. He and his coaching staff knows the style of the Blackhawks, and he expected them to come out hard and fast in this one, and they have. Seabrook drew the only assist on the Richards goal at 7:58. And Hossa pulls up in the neutral zone after it was cleared. Manson steps up and knocked it away from Brandon Saad. Keith plays it across. He and Seabrook both in their 10th seasons, as are Kane and Taves and Getzlaf and Perry. Something tells me that was a pretty good draft.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of people think that 03 draft, the greatest draft in NHL history.
Home run pass, run down by Perry, so no icing. Tried to center, and getting the paddle to stick in the way was Crawford. Defending his crease well, the Chicago netminder. Job by Matt Clark, who steps up and holds the puck along the boards. Can't keep it in, though, and now Blacker can't keep it in the neutral zone, I should say. Blacker goes back after it. Reverses to Getzlaf, who's there to support. Getzlaf from behind the Anaheim goal. Blacker now stretches it through the neutral zone. Bolesky goes cross ice, getting on his horse. Getzlaf can't get to it. And it's reversed back. The Hawks quickly nudge it ahead. Smith saw the hit coming. Kruger supports and finds Joachim Nordstrom. Sealed off on the far side by Vatanen. Another good hit there by Sammy, and that enables Anaheim to exit the zone with the puck. Getzlaf circles back, though, as Bickle is all over him. Vatanen takes it off the backhand, doesn't corral it, but does tip it past Daniel Carcillo.
And Quenneville is not a coach that matches an awful lot in the game. He's very confident leaving the Kruger line to face Getzlaf.
Keith stepping up, and that one off the stick of Anderson to the high glass. The D are activating for the Blackhawks early on. Vatanen can't hoist it past Keith. Glove settles, goes cross ice. Carcillo again. May have been friendly fire. I think it hit Bickle in front. Blacker on the backhand, got it as far as the line, not out. Hawks have Anaheim penned in. Carcillo over to Keith. Score! Andy Shaw was at the far post. I think he got a redirect on it.
Well, this is a clinic right now from Chicago in terms of offensive zone pressure and forcing turnovers and then regrouping and attacking. Carcillo, it's the give and go, and that's John Taves that gives it back to him. Corey Perry was without a stick. He could not defend. And then wide open in front of the net. Look at Shaw. He just comes out from behind the goal and nobody picks him up. And no chance for Freddie Anderson. And I think we're going to see a timeout here from head coach Bruce Boudreau. The Ducks running around a little bit in the defensive zone, and the Blackhawks have taken full advantage.
Shaw missed 3 games with an upper body injury. They were the first 3 games of this particular circus trip, if you will, for the Hawks. He came back with a bang Wednesday in Denver. He had a goal, 5 shots on goal, and won 10 of 14 faceoffs. And he adds another one here this afternoon.
And afterwards, his head coach said he was just excellent in that game. Shaw, he's an irritating little player. He adds a certain element of sandpaper to a team that is not known as a extremely physical hockey team, but Shaw is one of those guys. He's in perpetual motion. He's always yapping, and he's always kind of chopping away at you, and tough guy to play against. And oh, by the way, he brings a certain amount of skill to the table as well. Well,
if you want to have some sort of a reference point as to maybe how physical the Hawks are, Shaw leads them in penalty minutes. He has 19. And depending upon what sort of stock you put in the league stats, they're also next to last in the league in hits. This is off the crossbar from Paul Mary and out of play, and that's somewhat of a microcosm so far of this afternoon for Anaheim.
It's the first time really that they've tested Corey Crawford, and that was Paul Mary with a bullet that had the Chicago netminder beaten. So first big break of the game goes to Corey Crawford.
Keith and Carcillo drawing the assists on Shaw's 5th of the year at 13:30. It's 2-0 Chicago. And the Hawks win the faceoff in their own zone. Puck kicked in by Hossa, who reverses it for Brandon Saad. The Pittsburgh native has it knocked off his stick. Nice defensive play there by Maroon, who gets it back from Paul Mary and dumps it diagonally to the near corner. Paul Mary gets in on the forecheck to help out. Supports Kessler, who hit Keith. Puck off the side of the net. Kessler has to pick himself up from behind the net. Maroon battling Hossa as he tried to get inside, but Hossa able to work the puck into the middle of the ice. Keith joins the rush, I beg your pardon, and then just throws it to the corner. Strange bounce off the stanchion, but Fowler is able to corral it. Josh Manson in just his 11th NHL game backhands it up the boards, but it's held in by the Hawks. Kane drops it off, and David Rundblad turns it over. Possible 2-on-1. Raquel races in, puts it on net. Crawford spit a rebound out, but he gets some help.
Crawford really boxed that shot.
Raquel all the way back in the defensive zone, tries to brush it away from Richards, but he got a good read on it. Raquel on a second effort goes up to the far side. Bort couldn't get a stick on it. Lindholm can't get it past Richards, who tries to center. Versteeg is there to pull it away. All the way out high for David Rundblad, and again, he turns it over. Smith-Pelly brings it to the blue line, trickles it to the net, and Crawford will cover up. The Blackhawks off to a fast start, now up by 2. A very eventful first period at Honda Center, and Brian, not just because the Blackhawks have put a couple of goals up on the Ducks, they've also announced a trade.
Well, we wondered because with Francois Beauchemin has now been placed on IR. They're saying he could be gone for as long as 4 to 6 weeks. Clayton Stoner out of the lineup with the mumps. The Ducks pull off a deal. They acquire Eric Brewer from the Tampa Bay Lightning for a 3rd-round pick, and they're going to need him immediately to join the team. I would be shocked if Brewer is not playing in tomorrow night's game in San Jose. Yeah, so they didn't wait long, and obviously this deal necessitated because of the situation going on. They've had so many injuries and illness that has decimated the Ducks blue line. They had a little depth.
Brewer, a one-time Canadian Olympian. longtime St. Louis Blue and Edmonton Oiler, who was a first-round pick of the Oilers. (2-0 Chicago as Aduya joins the rush. Hooks it right back through the top of the goal crease. Thompson will take it off the corner boards. Ducks have just 4 shots on goal as just over 4 minutes remains in the opening period. Matt Clark over to swat it away, and Silverberg just angles it out, trickles through the middle of the ice. Duncan Keith, ever present, is back there to get it. Keith, one of the top 10 ice time men in the National Hockey League. That's a fairly regular occurrence with him, as he slides it over to his longtime regular partner, Brent Seabrook. Saad fumbles it at the Anaheim stripe, and the Ducks in transition. Palmieri nudged it ahead. Kessler didn't see it, but still able to bring it into the Chicago zone off his skate. Palmieri behind the net. Maroon tries to get it back. It comes out in front. Kessler digs for it. Oh, it was there for a moment, and Keith came to the rescue. Osa steers it in.
I would say this, John, the referees are letting both teams play here. There's been some hooking going on in this game and some slashing that we have.
Oh, Chalmerson just struck Kessler, and it's tapped in out of midair off the back glass by Lindholm as he rushes in. Everybody got a little focused on the hit on Kessler, and Maroon's shot went off the high glass. Nobody knew where it went after that.
Yeah, third goal of the season for Hampus Lindholm could not have come at a better time. And by the way, Kessler went up to Hjalmarsson afterwards and said, "Way to dry yourself out of position." He made sure he got over there. He was just crushed right in the sternum on the hit by Hjalmarsson, but that created space for Pat Maroon, and it's a bunt. Hampus Lindholm slides the handle up the shaft of the stick and just bunts it into the top corner.
Well, it was Kessler who sacrificed, but it was Lindholm who bunted. And the Ducks are on the board. You can see Ryan Kessler catching his breath and having a brief conversation with Joe Heff, the athletic trainer.
Well, there it is with Lindholm. That stick blade was about a foot and a half away from his bottom hand at the moment he tapped it into the net.
So the Ducks are back within a goal, as Lindholm now has 6 points in his last 9 games, the plus-minus leader for Anaheim this season, jumping into an opening. And it's now a 1-goal game. Maroon and Kessler will draw the helpers as Kruger lifts it out of the Chicago zone, and he pays the price thanks to Matt Bolesky.
And Corey Perry just got a huge hit on Johnny Oduya.
Nice breakout, and it's off the stick of Perry and barely stays in the barn off the high glass. There's another hit as Bolesky came charging in on Keith, and then Seabrook returns the favor, and now we're going to get the game's first penalty.
Well, we got a tripping call, and I believe is this going again?
It might be Seabrook, and then Perry mixing it up on his way back to the Anaheim bench, so to speak.
It looks like Matt Bolesky is going to be the player that gets the gate. A little tag team bump right there.
It's the retaliation on Seabrook, yep.
So Bolesky will sit in a red-hot Chicago power play that has now scored power play goals in 6 consecutive games, with the only power play chance in the opening period. But this is a group that has really caught fire as of late. Look at that, almost 30% in their last 6 games. The Ducks have been doing a great job on the penalty kill, but boy, they're going to miss Francois Beauchemin in that capacity. They're their best penalty killing defenseman for sure.
17:38 time of the penalty on Bolesky, and the Ducks failed to clear. They had full control, but clear by Lindholm right at Keith. Seabrook moves it on the half wall to Taves. He gets it back, fires, that's blocked in front, and cleared away by the Ducks.
Sammy Vatanen again with another key shot block on the penalty kill.
Patrick Kane, the leading scorer on the power play this season for the Hawks. He has 11 points. Seabrook stirs the pot from the back line. He's got 7. Kane with 3 power play goals. That matches Seabrook's total as the Hawks able to bring it in. And Kane will work the left wing half wall. Back for Duncan Keith. Nearly fumbles it. Over to Seabrook. Top of the circle. Steps up. Fired it wide. And it'll come around and out.
Yeah, Brent Seabrook has a very heavy shot. And when he can get that momentum going before he unloads, there's an awful lot on it. There's very few defensemen that can beat goaltenders from long range when they can see the shot. But Seabrook has that kind of caliber, a blast from the blue line.
Brad Richards for years manned the point at Tampa Bay on their power play. Does the same here in Chicago as the second power play unit is outside, lifting the stick of Getzlaf as he tried to carry it out of the zone. And now under a minute to go in both the penalty to Bolesky and the period. Puck gloved ahead wisely by Perry, and Getzlaf gets just enough to get it out.
Yeah, be careful when you handle the puck with your hand now. When you fall to the ice, if you cover the puck, it is a minor penalty. You can knock it away with your hand, but the rule change during this past offseason, if you ever put your hand over top of the puck, it's an automatic 2-minute minor penalty.
Final seconds of the penalty to Bolesky as the Hawks bring it back in. Richards is engaged by Josh Manson. The penalty over to Bolesky. The Hawks do not manage a shot on goal during the power play, and Bolesky chips it out of the zone. This will not go far enough for icing, and the foot race won by Nate Thompson. 10 seconds in the period as he goes behind the net. Wanted to center for Smith-Pelly. Broken up by Roosevelt. He still has it in front off the stick of Cogliano, and the Hawks will skate it out of harm's way. And they run out of racetrack. Looked like they might have had numbers as Kruger jumped in, but the first period comes to a close.
You know what? Bruce Boudreau calls a timeout, and this was a different game from that point on. The Ducks started getting their legs going. They had some opportunities. A near miss there by Andrew Cogliano, swing and a miss. But the first half of the opening 20 minutes, it was all Chicago, and Freddie Anderson looked like he was by himself at times, but the appreciate it, Brad. Good luck.
Thanks.
Nate Thompson wins the draw to begin the second period from Jonathan Taves. Taves with 3 goals in his last 3 games. Leading goal scorer for the Hawks again this season as players collide in behind the Chicago net. Hossa trying to tap it out of the zone, did. And then Cogliano, he got clipped by a high stick from Saad, but play goes on. Brent Seabrook out of Richmond, British Columbia, moves it ahead, and Taves off the stick of Hossa deep into the Anaheim zone. Saad is there, and he beat Botman to it. Now brings it back to the point for Seabrook. Across for Duncan Keith. Keith steers it around off the side of the Anaheim goal. Saad had it for a moment, knocked away. Taves sends it in front out of the reach of Hossa. Hossa's so good at recovering pucks, gets it back again. Keith's shot is blocked. Seabrook misses on the short side. And now Jakob Silfverberg away. And he ran into a couple of white sweaters and went no further. Patrick Maroon now with 4 points in his last 4 games with the assist on the Anaheim goal. Throws it deep into the Chicago end, and Palmieri gets to it. Aduya and heat bump. Maroon is there to support, and he gets it to Kessler behind the net. Kessler, a very hard-earned assist on that goal, now with 10 points in his last 11 games. And he got pinned to the boards there and couldn't move it any further.
It was interesting, the hard hit like that, how immediately the trainer is right over his shoulder once he got back to the bench. Made sure that he was not feeling any ill effects. He plays such a hard game, Brian Kessler does.
He goes to the front of the net, and just missing it was Maroon. Manson got it through, and a pad save by Crawford, and a good recovery by Fowler, who filled the passing lane. Manson had stepped up on the play, and Fowler would have been on a 2-on-1, but he read the pass. Now Versteeg gives it to Kane, back to Hjalmarsson. He measures it and misses everything. Lindholm, who has the Ducks goal, moves it ahead, and the Ducks clear the zone. Corey Perry hands it off middle of the ice. Lindholm gets it back and doesn't get much on it. A stick save by Crawford, who will reel it back in.
A good start to this second period for the Ducks. The Hawks stick to their game plan, which is looking for that stretch player, but Ryan Kessler goes hard to the far post, had his stick tied up nicely by Versteeg. And there was the attempted long pass that Fowler steps into the middle of the ice, and that's what you always have to be watching for with Chicago. They spring a player from the defensive zone on a lot of 50-50 pucks. They are gambling they'll be able to get to it first.
Hawks have really struggled in the second period this season. Their goal scoring total, one of the fewest in the league in the middle period. And they are a rather startling -4 in the goal differential in the second period as well. When you consider their other two periods, they've been fairly dominant. Ducks with some good work down low as it's first Getzlaf and then Perry keeping pucks in, and finally the Ducks will change. That opens the ice for Seabrook. Right-hand shooting defenseman fires it in wide of the goal, and Anderson stays put. Smith-Pelly came down, Bickle beat him to it. Rimmed around for Rennie Bourque. Bourque began his NHL career as a Blackhawk, signed as a free agent out of the University of Wisconsin. Shaw behind the net. Good speed around the boards, but on his backhand as he lays it off for Roosevelt. Laid across and hammered wide by David Rundblad. Rundblad had been a healthy scratch in 6 of the last 7 games for Joel Quenneville, and as he holds the point here, he deflects it out of play.
Well, we knew, given the fact that Francois Beauchemin was not going to be in the lineup today, that Hampus Lindholm and Sami Vatanen would play a ton. Look at their season averages in around the 22-minute mark, and the ice time already in tonight's game here early in the second period, well above the 10-minute mark. So they're going to shatter that season average total in this one. And Johnny, we were talking about in the pregame show how without the hitters in the lineup, it forces you to play a different style. If you know you're going to play 25, 26 minutes, it forces you to play a different style too.
I was looking at the numbers for all the defenders for the Ducks after the first period, wondering if the coaching staff could measure their time and work it out so that it maybe was ramped up as the game goes along, but pretty hard to do when you've only got the 3 actual experienced defensemen back there on your blue line. It's pretty hard to divvy that up.
And when the score goes in favor of the Blackhawks early too, that changes things. You can manage that ice time a little bit better the longer it is a tight game. But once you fall behind, you got to get your best out there as much as you can.
David Rundblad from behind the Chicago net. He didn't play a whole lot in the first period. Rundblad, who had been a scratch, as I just mentioned a moment ago, played just over 2 minutes for Joel Quenneville along the same lines. Kane into the middle, Rundblad, the former Phoenix Coyote, moves it ahead, and that was a little bit of a suicide pass for Versteeg, who pays the price, and the Ducks come right back in with it. Flip to the open corner, Maroon is there to get it. Roosevelt leaning on him. He cycles it along for Kyle Palmieri. Leaves it in the corner, Maroon again gets inside on Roosevelt. But as he put it behind the net, Kessler beaten to it by Brad Richards. Richards joins the rush, and the pass back to him was behind him. He had to slow down to stay onside, and now Lindholm with a deft little backhand pass of about 6 feet to find Kessler. Palmieri tried to redirect it in and go for a change, but he hit by the Civic linesman with it.
That's hard to do.
Bolesky's pass back to the point escapes Blacker, and all the way back it goes.
Civic is 6 foot 9 inches tall.
Without the skates. Now Clark, below the goal line, gets it to Perry, and his pass across, batted out of midair. Blacker brings it to center. Hard around into the Anaheim zone. Perry's stick broken behind the net, and he goes to the bench to get another.
We chopped it right in half. Slash on the shaft of the stick, and it just shattered.
And now a penalty against the Ducks. A little retaliation, maybe. Nope, it's an interference call. And I think it's Matt Bolesky again. Ducks will be shorthanded for the second time when we return.
Well, the Ducks are frustrated. Corey Perry's going to get this puck behind, and watch Hjalmarsson. He just chops down on the shaft of the stick. Perry says, hey, it's tough to play without that. And then Matt Bolesky runs into Ben Smith in the middle of the ice, and Bolesky was given an interference penalty. So Chicago with their second power play chance of the game. Second minor penalty of the afternoon for Matt Bolesky, who came into the game with only 12 minutes in penalties. Hawks are 0 for 1 on the power play. And a face-off to the left of Frederik Andersen. A good face-off win from Kessler, and a bad bounce off the stanchion on the clear by Lindholm, but Kessler finds it first and sends it down. What a gift that is. Trent Yanni and his penalty killing unit to have Ryan Kesler winning defensive zone draws makes an enormous difference.
He beat Johnny Taves on the draw. Taves is number 5 in the league, and he is a perennial top 10 face-off man. Hawks a very good face-off team. Now the Ducks again win the puck off the boards. Just a hustle play there by Kesler as he got it back to Lindholm and he ices. So the first 40 seconds of the Chicago power play, where the Hawks are concerned, spent trying to retrieve possession after being forced to dump it in. Now they keep it, and it's Kane trying to go high short side, but he missed the mark. Back to Seabrook, over to Keith. Shot pass to Hossa, who missed the mark. And a tough year for Hossa. He has 3 goals on 70 shots on goal, and that one, he just missed the mark. And now Crawford, pressured by Cogliano. Down to 45 seconds in the penalty to Bolesky. Trying to measure is Brad Richards across the line. Hossa's pass comes back to him. To the point, Roosevelt. Cross, handcuffed by it a little bit. Is Saad, but he lays it back. Richards winds, fires, blocked by Getzlaf. Comes to the middle of the ice and cleared by Fowler.
Not a lot of extended zone time for the Hawks on this power play. Usually power plays in particular are even more dangerous in the second periods of games because of that long period.
Richards puts it right on net. Matt Clark hustling to the corner after it, chopped it up the wall, but it was sealed off. Saad moves it back up the wall, and now Richards at the point. Touches it over as the penalty ends. Roosevelt gets it right to the side of the net. Saad trying to jam it in, and it's covered by Anderson. The Ducks now with 15 consecutive penalty kills.
You know what, the power play got a couple of shots on goal for the Blackhawks. This was a missed shot by Marian Hossa on the cross-ice pass. Prior to that, Patrick Kane looking one way, trying to fool Freddie Anderson to see if he will pull away from that short side post, and Anderson did not bite.
Shots 14 and 9 in favor of the Hawks, including the game Tuesday against Calgary. Now, Brian, the Ducks have been shorthanded 6 times in their last 2 games and have not had a power play in either of those contests. They got to be looking for a call at some point and wondering when it might come.
Well, in order to draw those calls, you got to spend a little bit more time in the offensive zone, though.
Aduya got it through and reaching back against the grain. It's a glove save for Anderson.
It's the 4th shot now the Hawks have registered in this second period. Prior to that power play, they hadn't had a shot on goal for almost 20 minutes. The power play changes the momentum a little bit. Look at Anderson, does a great job with the head, looking around the traffic in front of the net. Manages to snare that with the left hand. He's been very good in this game.
Anderson and Crawford both come in with 10 wins on the season. Trying to get it over to Pickle was Taves as he protected that puck so well. Coming from below the goal line, he has it again. Ducks his shoulder, trying to get away from Getzlaf. Wanted to go back to the forehand. Getzlaf forcing him, keeping him to the outside. Kane in front, that went off of Pickle. Up the boards, Perry comes up with it. Ducks might have numbers if they hurry because Fowler jumps in. Here comes Fowler, can't sneak it back in front, but keeps it alive for Bolesky. Perry behind the net for Getzlaf. He's got 2 defenders draped all over him, so he gives it back to Perry. Shaw loses his stick as he went after him with Bolesky. Lindholm all the way below the hash mark, and that means nobody's at the point to keep it in.
That was a good read by Hampus Lindholm. And he certainly has improved, John, in picking his spots, when to jump up into the attack or try and keep pucks alive in the offensive zone.
Lindholm looking for Raquel, who does a nice job to handle that pass behind. Got it to Borg. He trickles it to the net, and a right pad save from Crawford. Rundblad up into the play for Chicago, trying to get around Manson, lost an edge. Manson takes a hit, but backhands it around for Rennie Borg. Borg had 7 shots on goal in his first 2 games with the Ducks and didn't play more than 10 minutes in either of those. Just got his first shot of the afternoon a moment ago. He's got the puck at the blue line, shovels it ahead. Smith-Pelly doesn't have an angle as Roosevelt taps it back. Blacker and Clark, the defense pair out there, and Clark in a little bit of trouble, forced to just jam it up the wall and out. Hawks start over, Roosevelt to Richards. Keith, middle of the ice for Versteeg. Second tour of duty with the Hawks for Chris Versteeg. All the way across, but Seabrook couldn't get his shot through. Now he's in front, and Kane scores on a great pass by Versteeg.
Front of the net left wide open, and no chance again for the goaltender Anderson. 9th goal of the season. We talked about Patrick Kane heating up. He's just so deceptive. He just has a nose when to jump into the spot. But the play made by Versteeg, wonderful little backhanded pass. The Ducks have two defensemen trapped down below the goal line, and Patrick Kane makes them pay. But what a pass by Versteeg.
Well, was it ever. Versteeg was bothered by a knee injury that he was recovering from last year when Florida moved him to Chicago. And he's been much more the player the Hawks knew him to be this year than he was last year when he came over from the Panthers.
You're right, John. He looks like a different player. The guy we saw him late in his tenure with the Florida Panthers, and we could not believe that was Versteeg. I mean, he looked like a shadow of his former self.
Well, as we've talked about with Francois Beauchemin, many players, sometimes those knee procedures, and more times than not, take closer to a full calendar year before the player returns and not only feels like the player he was, but also resembles the player perhaps he had been. Boy, here's Kane behind the defense. He'll get the pass off the boards. Ducks able to recover into the middle. Richards just missed. Versteeg spun down on the far wall. Hawks have the 2-goal lead back. Kane again off the post. Anderson sliding over, didn't see it as it popped straight up in the air and came back out. One-timer by Rundblad misses the mark. Up the wall, Vatanen just gets it out of harm's way on the backhand. Long change here in the second, and Anaheim wants to get some fresh players out. Lindholm does make it to the bench. Vatanen is stuck. Taves, the Anaheim's own poke check by Vatanen, knocks it away, and Getzlaf able to beat Versteeg to it. Home run pass easily intercepted by Hjalmarsson as Vatanen was trying for Getzlaf.
It's hard not to get sucked into the stretch game. You see the Ducks now flying people out of the defensive zone, but you don't want to be doing that too often against this team. You get into an exchange in Chicago, you're in trouble.
Brandon Saad's shot is blocked. Getzlaf got in the way of that. Only 2 forwards in the league have blocked more shots than Ryan Getzlaf coming into today's game. Both teams trying to finish changes. Calling for it as Hossa gets it, cuts to the middle, just missed. Marian Hossa trying to throw it in front. That was blocked, but it came right back to him. He's got Saad, and that's blocked. Fowler went to one knee to get in the way of that.
People are just wide open in the high slot. And the Ducks forwards are going to have to make some adjustments here.
Lindholm flushed from behind the net by Bickle. Fowler stretches up the near boards. Swept in by Bork. Crawford reverses it from where it came, and Seabrook able to chop it up the wall. Andy Shaw gets into the middle. Carcillo does a nice job to chip it around. Gets to the front of the net, and the center pass went right through Shaw. Keith winds and fires, and Anderson holds that. An onslaught from the Hawks in the second has produced another goal, and they're up by 2 again. 3-1 the Hawks in the second here at Honda Center on Black Friday, but yesterday, Thanksgiving, the parking lot at Honda Center, again, transformed for the We Give Thanks event. The 28th year that Frank Garcia and his restaurant have served the homeless here in Orange County. I'm told over 13,000 in attendance. That doesn't count the volunteers who helped set it up, who helped serve food, who helped tear it down. And we can't give enough credit to our own Kent French, who is on the board of the We Give Thanks organization. They do such a wonderful job. Congratulations to Frank Garcia, and his little dinner that began 28 years ago at La Casa Garcia restaurant and has ballooned into a major event.
It's a privilege for all of us to be involved in that day. And certainly something that I think everyone here looks forward to.
Can't say enough about Marquette French's involvement either. I mean, he is at the epicenter of everything. I think I was there for 4 hours yesterday, Brian, and I spoke to him once. I know you were there for a couple of hours. Did you even see him?
I heard him. He was running all the announcements and introducing all of the dignitaries in attendance. And as soon as he's done with that part of his job, I think he's just making sure that there's enough turkey to be served for everybody. Logistics is also a big part of Kent's role with We Give Thanks.
And it's not just one day, as we've observed from being around him. It's a year-round activity. And he was there from about 4 a.m. yesterday to whenever it concluded. Ducks trying to answer back as Chicago had a good push here in the second, and they've reinstilled a 2-goal lead. However, they go offside here, so Will step aside. Chicago has led all the way down to 5:24 now to go in the second period, and again it's a 2-goal lead for the Hawks. Aerial coverage today provided by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you've got to get DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV.
Well, just over 5 left in this second period, and the Ducks are looking to shift the momentum back in their direction. They had it for about 15 minutes in this game until the second Bolesky penalty, and then from that point on, Chicago has completely reorganized, John. Boy, they have looked crisp on the attack in this game. Boy, is that defense is so confident back there.
Shots on goal in the second period, only 6-5 in favor of Chicago, but it feels a lot different territorially speaking. And we're going to get another Anaheim penalty. This is the third of the game against the Ducks. It's a boarding call, and I think it's the former Hawk Rennie Bork who may get the game.
Well, it was Oduya that took the brunt of that hit from Rennie Bork. See if we can pick it up. I don't know. I mean, that's not a boarding call. No, he comes at Oduya from an angle, and Oduya spins. And as he tries to spin off the hit, he actually spins himself face first into the boards. I do not like that call from Dave Jackson at all.
Third power play of the afternoon for Chicago. And they win the draw. Keith walks the line across for Seabrook. Steps up, fakes the shot, now all the way below the goal line, loses possession. And it's pitched out of the backhand. Nice job by Getzlaf to find Kessler. Short-handed, he'll miss with a little help from the stick of Duncan Keith. And the Hawks regroup.
You see the respect Brian Kessler has for Keith. He doesn't try and go around him because he feels there's no chance of that happening. So he tries to use him at the screen and shoot the puck, but that's always an indication to me when you see a great player like Kessler or Getzlaf coming down on a defender. They shoot or they try and make a play and go around him.
Seabrook to Keith his one-timer off the skate. I think it went off of Lindholm. Skips to the far corner. And then the return pass is off of his skate. Getzlaf settles it and backhands it away. Anaheim will get changes on the kill. The Hawks will get power play changes as Crawford is forced to stick handle himself, and he nearly threw it away to Silverberg. Now Richards comes back, a little discombobulated. Finally, the breakout for the Hawks takes place. Hosa's pass across comes to Shaw. Return feed broken up, but trickles back to Hosa. And good job there by Manson, who tapped it free, and Silverberg's clearing unfortunately went into the Chicago bench. You could win a 2015 Honda CR-V at Fan Appreciation Night coming up later on this season here at Honda Center. To be in the running, send us a 15-second video telling us why you deserve the car. Go to AnaheimDucks.com/IWantMyCRV for details.
It's a good play by the youngster Josh Manson, who just continues to impress. Boy, he's come a long, long way from training camp of this season. Manson was a guy that the Ducks had projected they were going to leave in Norfolk for the entire American League season, his first full season as a pro. But his improved play, the reason why they felt they could afford to trade Brian Allen was because of how far Josh Manson had come.
Manson's father, Dave, played over 1,000 games in the NHL, and a good bit of those as a member of the Chicago Blackhawks who drafted him. So this game probably has some special meaning to him, no doubt. albeit just his 11th game at the NHL level. Thompson trying feverishly to get it away from Rozabal, but it's Shaw. Brings it in, cross ice to Saad. He's got a man in front. What a save on Hossa by Anderson. And look at Hossa. He just flips the stick away.
What a stop. This is just absolute robbery by Anderson to keep his team in this game. Hossa's got him beat. Look at that left hand save by the goaltender. And then he also, why not? Might as well make a stop on the rebound as well. But we called in the 10 bell stops. And look at Marian Hossa.
That's fantastic.
You know, in a game like this, when you are undermanned back on the blue line, you know that your goaltender is going to have to be sensational to have a chance to win in the game. That is one of those saves that you hope gives your team a little bit more confidence and encourages them to put a few shots against Corey Crawford. It's been a while for the Ducks.
I don't know which one I like better. I mean, obviously the save on Hossa was great, but from the seat of his pants, Anderson's glove save to end the play was pretty impressive too. Now the net had been off behind him for a couple of seconds, so Frederik Andersen draws the officials' attention to it by making sure they see how far it is.
Well, it's so good. It's worth looking at one more time. You never quit on a play, and Anderson with that long left hand of his just robs Marian Hossa. You can see Hossa still talking to himself over at the Chicago bench right now.
Well, he went 9 games without a goal, did Hossa, and now has just one in his last 13, but it's not for lack of chances. I mentioned it earlier, 9 shots on goal Wednesday against Colorado, and he's had some glorious opportunities in this one. He missed the net on one good chance in the second, and then Anderson robbing him there just a moment ago.
This is a guy that's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
Marian Hossa has scored 40 plus with 3 different teams.
At one point in his career, went to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 straight years with 3 different teams. The only player ever to do that. Kruger steps out from behind the net, gets a couple of bits, and Anderson keeps it out.
Spectacular goaltending again from Anderson.
Fowler up the middle, misses Bourque, and icing is the result with just over 2 to go here in the second.
Now watch this down low. Freddie Anderson is going to use those long leg pads of his. Kruger tries to jam it, and he tries to go around Frederik Anderson. And what I really like about that second save by Freddie is he has the confidence. He doesn't try and extend that right toe too far. If he does, then the right knee comes off the ice and maybe the puck goes underneath the leg pad. It takes confidence to know that that player is not going to be able to drag the puck around your skate.
Chicago 4th in the league in the face-off circle coming into today, and that has been on full display as they have had the better of the draws in this game. Getzlaf loses it in front, and Versteeg nearly got there. Manson to the rescue, reaches to chip it out of the top of the blue paint. Richards feeds it back in for Patrick Kane. He tripped over Fowler's stick. No call there, and Fowler back to get it. Down to 1.5 minutes to go. Again, it squirts into the middle of the ice, but Molesky's there to protect it. And Getzlaf hoists it cross ice. No icing as Keith got there before it reached the red line. The Ducks changing. Seabrook stretches it ahead. Taves being leaned on there by Lindholm. Vatanen didn't have anywhere to go with it, so up the boards, he just tried to angle it for Smith-Pelly. Hawks at home to neutral zone here in the second period. And now it's chipped ahead. Hossa gloves it down and took it right to the top of the crease. Under 1 minute to go in the second period. Molesky gets center red, and around the boards past Chalmerson. He got it in, and Duya lost an edge, and he took down Smith-Pelly in the process.
I think he may have lost an edge by design there.
Tipped by Smith-Pelly after the bid from Raquel. And perhaps one of the better chances of the period for Anaheim. The Hawks are called for icing at the other end. Hossa doesn't like it. He thought he had a half step on the Duck defenders.
Let's go back to the bid here. Was just thrown towards the net. Devontae Smith-Pelly had slipped in behind Johnny Oduya. And Corey Crawford on the rebound makes a big stop with the left leg pad. credit Crawford. It had been a while since he had been tested in this game. It's an important save for him.
Face off to the left of the Montreal native, now in his 8th NHL season. Anaheim wins the draw. Half a minute to go in the period. Lindholm over to Fowler. He returns the favor. Lindholm's wrister through traffic just wide. Hossa digs it off the wall, brings it to center. Lost the handle there, and now the Hawks regroup. 10 seconds to go in the period, and Palmieri buries Aduya, who is down, and the rest of the Hawks come to his aid as he's holding his face.
I think he hits his head on the top of the dasher board. And Kyle Palmieri comes over to deliver the hit. And you can see Aduya is cut.
I believe he cut under the eye or on the bridge of the nose.
I think he's...
I looked at both referees. There was not a penalty call being made by either referee.
There was, John. The backside referee, boy, that's a tough looking play. It's the head on top of the dasher board. I mean, Aduya's in a tough spot right here as he, Palmieri comes. It's a lateral hit. It's made. There's no head-to-head contact there. There's no contact with the head of Aduya. The contact comes from the boards, and Getzlaf is saying, why is that a penalty? Oduya's in a rough spot. He hits his head on top of the dashboard, but the Hawks will be crying, I'm sure, for a charging penalty. But again, they can't call this boarding because of the angle that Palmieri takes to get the bump on Oduya. The referees having a little conference involving the linesmen, getting everyone's perspective on the hit.
And now the question, I guess, can only be, is this a major penalty, Brian? I mean, that has to be the discussion going on. As you said, the backside official was making a call. So there's a penalty here. Now what they're discussing with just under 10 seconds to go in the second period has to be to what level this infraction is.
Well, I get back to the fact that it's not boarding when Palmieri takes the angle that he takes. And there's no contact with the head by the body of Palmieri. The contact with the head happens because Oduya's in a vulnerable spot and he hits his head on top of the dasher board.
And he's pulling up along the wall as well, trying to avoid the hit, and that brings the level of his head down to the top of the dasher board. And Dave Jackson talking to the official scorers here, and now he'll address the captains. So there's a lot to discuss here. Where they put 5 up for Palmieri.
Offense minor. 2 minutes for too many men on the ice.
They're giving the Blackhawks a too many men on the ice penalty.
5 minutes for boarding.
And a 5-minute boarding penalty, which will mean that Kyle Palmieri is out of this game.
So the Hawks will have a power play, but not until early in the third period, after the bench minor expires. Joel Quenneville looks up at the scoreboard above center ice. A disappointed Bruce Boudreau looks up as well. And the conversation between Dave Jackson, Jonathan Toews, Ryan Getzlaf, and Greg Kimmerly continuing.
Yeah, I get back to, John, with defensemen in particular. There are landmines in a hockey rink. There are places as a player that you have to protect yourself in this game. And right between the benches is one of those places that's always a little bit dangerous. There's a piece of glass that separates the two benches. And there's no glass above the boards, and so you can't use that to kind of protect yourself from a hit. But Oduya throws on the brakes as he sees Palmieri coming, and his head is, his head is at the level of the top of the boards because of what he does to try and get away from the hit of Palmieri. It contributes to the damage that is done here.
So this happens with less than 10 seconds to go.
After the hit, watch what happens. Carcillo jumps on the ice, looks like he's going to go at Kyle Palmieri, then his teammate grabs a hold of him to make sure he doesn't chase after Kyle Palmieri. So he leaves the bench. It should be a game misconduct to Carcillo for leaving the bench.
Yeah, you can see Pat Maroon there. He immediately saw Carcillo come over the boards. He was pointing, but so it's 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes with under 10 seconds to go in the second period, and then without any further calls, the Hawks would have a 3-minute power play. They drop it at center. Vatanen ahead for Getzlaf, but Perry was offside, and now just 4.7 remains in the second.
You know, and the tough thing for the Ducks is Kyle Palmieri, who had 3 goals in his 5 games that he has only played because of injury this season, was a guy that you really need in a game like this.
Yeah.
In a game where you're trailing by a couple of goals.
So they'll do it again on the center ice dot. Kruger and Getzlaf oppose one another. The Ducks win the draw, and that'll do it. The second period will come to a rather controversial close, but the Hawks, for the second time tonight, have a 2-goal cushion.
The penalties have changed the momentum of this game around. The stretch that the Ducks looked like they were getting back into this hockey game, it was the parade to the penalty box that shifted the momentum in favor of the Blackhawks, and now again they're going to be in a little bit of a penalty situation when we start the third period tonight. And usually, if you're the team that's trailing in the game, you have to look at 4-on-4 hockey as an opportunity. Ducks trail by 2. They know they're going to be shorthanded in a couple of minutes, so keep an eye and see if they make a push here right at the beginning of this final period.
And again, it's Palmieri who was given a 5-minute major for boarding, and with it comes the subsequent game misconduct. So he is done for the afternoon as well. As Perry sneaks one through to begin the third period, and a stick save by Crawford sends the Hawks the other way. Keith on the drop pass gives it right back to Kane. Circles the net. Fowler forces him wide. And now he still holds it high in the zone for Seabrook. Behind the back for Keith. Former Kelowna Rocket can't get it past Perry, and now the Hawks have to get onside.
Duncan Keith, by the way, is +3 in this game, and he has been sensational. Looks very much like the Norris Trophy winner. He's won 2 of them, and he's probably going to be in the hunt for a third this season.
Leading scoring defenseman for the Hawks coming into today's game. Keith does have an assist among his +3. Good work down low by the Ducks. A little 2-man game. Vatanen and Lindholm, and it's Kessler into the Chicago zone. Drops it off for Sammy. Vatanen all the way on the backhand. Drops it back. Kessler's shot is held. Or excuse me, it's Lindholm, and that's held by Crawford.
I like this combination in the 4-on-4. Vatanen and Lindholm. 2 players that are looking to create. Kessler with a little drop pass. Here's Sammy Vatanen. That pass blocked, but Lindholm, look how deep he was. He's the 4th Anaheim player in, and he's ripping one from the top of the circle. So the Ducks making their bid here early in the third period.
In 37 seconds, the Blackhawks would begin a 3-minute power play, as that's what would be left over on the major penalty to Palmieri. Versteeg serving that major will rejoin the play in another 20 seconds. Now Josh Manson headmans for Devontae Smith-Pelly. Smith-Pelly had an assist here on Tuesday against Calgary, and now follows it into the zone. Aduya back out there after being cut late in the second period. And now Thompson into the middle, tipped over by Manson, but didn't get enough on it to get it to Fowler, who picks up Kruger on the back check, and then wins the puck from him as he just wouldn't stop.
Yeah, and the key to that is keep the legs moving so that you are not called for a hooking penalty.
And that's even more important because the bench minor for too many men on the ice for the Hawks is up. Versteeg back on the ice, and now Chicago on their 4th power play of the afternoon. They're 0 for 3. And Versteeg, coming off the boards, had to battle the stick work of Jakob Silfverberg, and he wasn't able to keep it in.
Johnny, I just can't believe the difference that I see in Versteeg. He's having a wonderful game.
Keith one-timer, fat rebound, great save by Anderson. Kane was right there. I thought Freddie had it covered. Now he gets the whistle.
What a stop again. I mean, this is just a miraculous save by the big man Anderson, and he is fully extended this time, moving to his left. Fat rebound, but he comes across. I don't know if he gets that with the glove or the left leg pad.
Thought he got his pad on it.
We'll get a better look from this angle. Yep, it's the top of the left leg pad. The momentum of Anderson, again, covers that short side, and Patrick Kane can't hoist it up and over.
So the Ducks still shorthanded for another 2:16. There's some remarkable numbers, Brian, regarding Anaheim's inability to go on the power play as opposed to their opponents. They've now gone over 2 full games without a power play of their own.
Entering this third period tonight, it was 132 minutes since the Ducks had actually had a power play. And right now, this power play that the Hawks are on, the 11th consecutive time that Anaheim has been shorthanded in the game.
So much for my theory, huh?
Which one?
The one about the officials evening up the power plays.
Not as of
Yeah,
late.
that one got nuked based on those numbers. Hawks again into the Anaheim zone. Just under 2 minutes left in this power play as Richards gives it back to Roosevelt. Serves it over. Hosa's one-timer. Creates a rebound. Saad gets to it. Brings it in front. Only to have it roll off his stick. And it's sent all the way back by Manson. Ducks get penalty-killing changes. We're early in the third. 3-1 Chicago. Richards stretches up the left side. Brandon Saad lobs it towards the net. Short hopped by the netminder Anderson, who chooses to hold on. Tonight on Fox Sports Live, highlights of a full day in the NBA and the NHL. I think there's some college football going on there as well. Fox Sports Live tonight. Live on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Going into tonight, the Ducks had 13 consecutive kills. The penalty killers have been doing a great job. They're winning a lot of draws. That one, Nate Thompson loses, but the Ducks have won 5 out of 7 draws, well shorthanded in the defensive zone.
Keith, and that's blocked to the corner by Thompson, who then shovels it out. The Ducks won 14 of the 17 faceoffs in the second period, as they really turned the tide after Chicago had dominated in the opening period. A minute remains in what was once 3 minutes of Chicago power play time. Taves meets at the puck behind the net. Lindholm sweeps it away, but slowly it rolls to Brent Seabrook. Seabrook gets it back one-timer. That's blocked by Thompson. His second block. Clearing attempt comes back to Lindholm, who tries to send it ahead for Getzlaf. And he gets it across the line to Perry. Cuts against the grain. Save! Crawford!
That's a big stop. That reach of Corey Perry.
He's got it again. Had his stick lifted and then can't get it back from Marian Hossa. Chicago's playing with a lot of players out there right now, and they've been doing it for a while. And I think the officials finally caught it.
Joe Grenfield just whispered to Kevin Dineen, too many. Yeah, you could say that. There's all 6 clearly in your frame, plus the goaltender. The Ducks are going to get a power play, John.
Well, the ultimate indignity is they're going to have to wait 21 seconds for it.
Here's a play by Corey Perry. Cuts inside of Brent Seabrook, and well played by the goaltender. Crawford, who gets across, takes that one in the midsection. So an opportunity here for Anaheim. Boy, if they could get one on this upcoming power play, we got a different game all of a sudden.
Corey Crawford, 13th straight start, as we mentioned earlier. Played 59 games last season. That's the most he's played in his career. Something tells me that he's on definitely pace, if he stays healthy, to obliterate that career high. 21 seconds now of 4-on-4 hockey before the Ducks would have that power play. And Kruger wins the draw and comes out of the Chicago zone with it. Ahead for Ben Smith from Boston College Eagle. Tried to cut to the middle and lost the handle. Kessler to the middle, out of the reach of Smith-Pelly. And then he's able to knock it away. Crawford to the rescue with a poke check. And for the first time in over 2 games, Anaheim is on a power play. Bourque out of the box. He was serving the Palmieri Major. And Anaheim now with a minute and a half of a power play.
The Ducks are going to be faced with a ton of pressure from Chicago. You see the pressure up ice from Taves. This is as aggressive a penalty killing unit as you will see.
And it's number 1 in the league as well, and year in, year out, one of the more dangerous short-handed units as well. Fowler rims it hard around and in. Getzlaf and Aduya meet at the puck. It comes through to Perry. Back in front of it, right through Getzlaf. Fowler slides it across for Sammy Vatanen. Under a minute to go on the power play. Getzlaf, a shot pass that didn't make it to Perry, and the Hawks clear. Anderson to the corner, able to get there first, and now Vatanen sets up from behind the net. Watched by Ben Smith. Getzlaf strides up the right side. Gets center red, drops it back. Vatanen cross ice for Lindholm. Perry gets a piece of it. It comes into the middle of the ice and is cleared away.
The Hawks will try and make you shoot it in. They rarely will yield the blue line.
Maroon carries in, but can't get it over for Kessler. Keith down low. Reverses for Marian Hossa. Can't get it past the point coverage of Fowler. 10 seconds in the power play. Lindholm, one-timer, just misses from Getzlaf. Stuffed in front, trying to jam it home. Maroon thinks he's scored.
The referee lost sight of it and blew the whistle. When Pat Maroon raised his arms thinking that that puck had gone in the net, the referee immediately raised his arms and blew the whistle. Rocket by Getzlaf just misses. Maroon, as soon as he put that one hand up in the air, he's getting worked over by Hjalmarsson. Watch the slash come in from behind on the legs of Pat Maroon. The referee says, I don't know where the puck is. Blows the whistle. 5 seconds left to try and make something happen. I think they're going to check the clock here. See if it might be more than 5 seconds left on this power play.
Maroon was looking up at the diamond vision. I think he was trying to say that Crawford shoveled it out of the net with his blocker. Didn't get any traction on that, and now the ruling comes that 5 seconds do remain on the power play, and the face-off will be to the left of Crawford.
Remember, they don't have to ask the Situation Room in Toronto to look at a play like that. They're on it. They are keeping an eye on the game. If that puck had crossed the line, you would have heard the penalty bench blowing the buzzer.
Kessler takes a run at Aduya as the penalty is up. It comes to him in the slot, but Hjalmarsson blocks it away. So Anaheim comes up empty on their first power play chance since Sunday. And Maroon rims it around. Hjalmarsson moves it ahead, 2-on-1. Here come the Hawks. Richards, saved by Anderson, sent back in front. Oh, and Kane just couldn't get it across the goal line.
Stop again. I mean, Anderson is giving his team a chance in this game. He has just been sensational.
Seabrook drops it back. Versteeg whips it over. Keith's pass into the middle. One time just wide by Kane. The Hawks are doing whatever they want in the offensive zone as Versteeg has it finally muscled off his stick by Maroon. Anaheim needs changes, and as Keith's forced back, they'll be able to get them. Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook with 12:20 to go in the game now out of their own zone. And that pass was not touched in the neutral zone by Ben Smith, so it's an icing call.
Well, the Blackhawks threaten again. It's another 2-on-1 break. Brad Richards thinks he's got the short side picked. Anderson does a great job getting across, and the puck comes back to the middle. Kane knocks it out of midair, and it goes off the hip of Freddie Anderson. So two just absolutely sensational stops for the Anaheim netminder. It keeps the Ducks close.
One of them I'm not sure he knows he made, but nonetheless, still 3-1. That's the battle factor, and Anderson has been battling tonight. 27 saves to this point. The native of Denmark. And the Ducks still looking for the proximity goal. Down by a pair, it's 3-1. Cogliano in on right wing, drops it for Fowler, cuts in. Head save Crawford. Rebound squirts up in the air and comes back to the near side. Rundblad nudges it ahead. Brian Bickle's shot is blocked wide as Clark got in the way, and then he pummels Bickle behind the net. Ducks break out. Silverberg cuts to the middle. Knocked off his stick by Roosevelt. Raquel denies the clearing attempt, but his pass across clears the zone. Manson, hard around Crawford, stays put. Ducks change as Taves lays it back. Rundblad goes right up the middle. That's forced back into the Chicago zone. Taves hits the handle at center. Lindholm hinges back, and quick up are the Ducks. Pass across, came outside, and Brandon Saad turns it over in the neutral zone to Getzlaf. Neither team can possess the puck for more than about 3 or 4 seconds.
They close on Ryan Getzlaf.
Taves nearly drew himself offside as he lost the puck just outside the stripe. Manson gets it away from Hossa, then steps into Taves. Saad hit by Manson. And again, the Hawks have to be careful. They were changing, and if they played that puck, I think they might have had too many on the ice again. They've been called for it twice in this game. Once maybe more as a favor than anything else. Kruger from a bad angle misses everything. Seabrook.
Broken stick for Vatanen.
Seabrook hands it off. Keith below the dot, off the post. Shovels it back on net, and Anderson has it in the glove. Chances abound, but it's still a scoreless third period to this point. Some great goaltending, and sometimes the plumbing just gets in the way. You can see all the traffic going to the mall here at Honda Center. A lot of traffic today. It's a standing room only crowd of over 17,300, and they've seen the Blackhawks lead all the way. 3-1 our score. As we're down to the final half of the third period of play. Hawks with a 31-18 shot advantage over Anaheim. 10:04 left in the face-off to the right of Frederik Andersen, who at times has been spectacular tonight.
Hey, John, I think back to the last time these two teams played. The Ducks win 1-0. They get a great goaltending performance from John Gibson in that game. And afterwards, everyone was buzzing about the fact that potential playoff meetings down the road between the Ducks and the Hawks, and what a great series it would be. I think everyone still feels that way after watching this one this afternoon.
Kane turned away by Anderson as he pulled the trigger quickly again. It was Versteeg from behind the net. Versteeg has a pretty nifty assist in the game already from below the goal line. He nearly got a second one. Keith, miscommunication, misses Versteeg, and Vatanen has had a broken stick. He had to drop it.
Two players with broken sticks for the Ducks.
Smith-Pelly and Vatanen both without sticks. Kane slides it across. Seabrook recognized, and he activated immediately. Now Kane gets it to Richards. His pass across, broken up by the stick of Maroon and cleared. Smith-Pelly has a new stick now, joined by Kessler, and they go offside
That's a tough call.
at the Chicago Strike.
That is a very tough call. Devontae Smith-Pelly says, "Are you sure?" Watch Ryan Kessler trying to drag the back leg. And it's hard to tell. You can't really see when that puck crosses the blue line. For Kessler to be offside, that skate has to be all the way over the blue line in the offensive zone. It was close.
Let's take a look at our American Honda 3-star leaderboard. Again this season, our friends at Honda give out the points. 5 if you're the 1-star, 3 if you're the 2-star, and 1 if you're the 3-star. We add them all up, and if our math is anywhere near correct, that's a big if. Frederik Andersen sits atop.
Something tells me he might be expanding that lead, John. He's been sensational in tonight's game.
Hoping to hold the fort long enough for the mates to erase a 2-goal deficit here. Anaheim has trailed by 2 twice as Crawford steers it to the corner. 3-1 Chicago. The Hawks looking to go 4-1 on this 6-game road trip, which will conclude tomorrow. The Ducks will hit the road after this one. They go to San Jose for 1. That's tomorrow night up at the SAP Center. So the front end of back-to-backs for both of these teams, with Manson just throws it up the boards. Ducks trying to finish changes, so as the Hawks send it back. Again, it's Manson who rolls it around. Cogliano cuts to the middle as he gains the Chicago stripe, and Shaw takes it off his stick. Cogliano got it back. Good effort, but he had to come to the neutral zone. Finally rolls it in. Roosevelt looks over his shoulder. The veteran moves it ahead. Broken up by Silverberg. Drives back below the goal line. Got inside on Roosevelt. Finds Cogliano. Back for Silverberg. And a sweep check from Shaw. Dislodges the puck. Carcillo couldn't clear. Good job to hold it in by Silverberg. He can't get his shot through. Bickle gets center red. Hoists it in and hoists it into the crowd as he tried to send it in to the Anaheim zone. 7:38 to go. Third period on a Black Friday at Honda Center. It's that time. It's Miller time, as brought to you by Miller Lite, and there's been a lot of good times for Frederik Andersen. Some spectacular saves today, Brian.
He's been just absolutely sensational. Our crack statistician Brian Hagan has got the Blackhawks at 26 grade A scoring opportunities in this game, and mostly at the hands of the big gunners for the Hawks. Hossa 5, Kane with 6, Richard 5, Keith with 4.
Brian Hagan is here today? First I've heard of it. Perry brings it in, drops it off. Shot off the wing from Bourque, and a penalty coming up. I believe it's going to go against the Hawks here.
They're going to give Corey Perry
for goalie interference?
Yeah.
Well, they blew the whistle when Chicago had possession of the puck. That's what threw me, but Perry does have to unpile off of Corey Crawford to go to the penalty box.
Well, let's have a look at it. Corey Perry is going to give up the puck, drive the center lane. He's there with Duncan Keith. Not much contact there, and then Crawford grabs a hold of the leg of Corey Perry at the end of this. But Corey Perry, to me, I mean, he eases up there, Johnny, and it's a tough call against Anaheim. Yes, there's contact. Yes, Crawford does a pretty darn good job of selling it, but it's sometimes baffling to players like Corey Perry what is not called as a penalty. And then what is.
Oh my, Vatanen trying to clear it, he put it into the bench. So the faceoff comes back into the Anaheim zone. 5th power play of the afternoon for the Blackhawks, including one of the 3-minute variety. They are 0 for 4. Showing the contact between Perry and Crawford now in the diamond vision, and the fans responding to that. As Perry sits, here's Kane on the backhand, and Andersen steers that away. Taves gets it back from Seabrook. Cuts to the middle, still has it. Shot is blocked by Lindholm, loose side of the net, and it stays out. Andersen couldn't find it. He doesn't have a goal stick right now. Hawks center all the way through. Here's Seabrook with a drive, deflected on the way. And I think Andersen may have gotten a blocker on that. Look at the puck movement by the Hawks. Keith got it back. Glove save, Andersen!
Wow! What a stop again. Just amazing goaltending performance here by Andersen. Doesn't even need a stick. The role that he's on in this game. This puck gets behind him. It's cleared away by Sami Vatanen before it can carry over the line, and then again, boy, the Ducks have broken a lot of sticks. Left-handed save by the goaltender. I mean, he has just been spectacular this afternoon. Trying to make it fair by dropping his stick.
If you say so. Hossa's shot is blocked, and the Ducks just flip it back. Now they're going to try to press the issue a little bit short-handed as Silverberg pressures Rundblad. The Hawks have given up 4 short-handed goals this season. And considering the time and the score, Brian, it might not be a bad time to try to push the envelope if you're the Anaheim penalty kill. 6 minutes to go in the game as Fowler clears up the middle. Anaheim down 3-1, and they're down a man for another 45 seconds. 33 saves for Frederik Andersen. As Saad loses it at the line. Quickly curled ahead by Lindholm. Cogliano applies the pressure.
Yeah, that was Rundblad that he got a pretty good bump on. Rundblad, this is his first game in the last couple of weeks. catch him with a little rust.
Brandon Saad has it poked off his stick at the line, stays onside. Smith-Pelly steps up and up the glass and out. Matt Clark able to clear it. Here's Kessler on his own, long wrist shot, and that one is fought off by Crawford.
Keeps the puck moving.
Perry steps out of the box. The Ducks 5 for 5 on the penalty kill today. 18 in a row in the last 5 games now. This is a top 10 power play unit that Chicago brings in here today as well. No small feat. Taves from behind the net for Kane. Versteeg calling as he came to the middle with his stick in the air, cocked and ready to shoot, but the pass goes all the way through. Perry battles his way to center as he and Aduya fence for it. Hjalmarsson avoids the hit and backhands it up the far boards for Jonathan Taves. Drop pass to Kane, over to Versteeg, blocker save from Anderson.
Not quite in the wheelhouse of Versteeg, and he doesn't get everything he wanted to get on that shot.
Maroon battles it across the line, gets off, drops for Manson just wide. He had Maroon cutting to the far post. Lindholm keeps it in, nice play. Across for Manson, middle of the ice, gets stopped. Maroon in front, steered away.
Yeah, they hit that Maroon in the foot. Ducks activating their defense now, sending them down off of the blue line.
Maroon trying to get it back to Getzlaf, and up the boards the Hawks come away. Duncan Keith gets center red and gets it deep. Game clock winds to under 4, comes all the way around, and Maroon to center. Pat Maroon caught on the back check by Nordstrom, who dislodges the puck and nudges for Ben Smith. Smith and Shaw into the Anaheim zone. Smith turns to change. Shaw upended behind the goal. Finally poked free. Vatanen goes after it. Carcillo is there. He's chopping away at it. Rolled across the zone and off the stick of Fowler. Getzlaf trying to work it up the boards. Carcillo denied that. Fowler stretches. Cogliano gets the feet moving, gets center ice, sends it behind the net. Crawford reverses it. Cogliano got a bump on Roosevelt. Ducks keep it in. Silverberg tried to hand it off to Raquel. Wanted to shovel it in front. That was denied. Rundblad rims it around. Lindholm will hold it. Brings it to the middle. Hands it off to Silverberg. Quickly for Raquel off his stick. Carcillo fans. Lindholm throws it to the net. Got through. Blocker save from Crawford. Ducks with a push as Manson takes it all the way below the goal line. Raquel covers the wall there and seals it back. Silverberg behind the net, trying to get it back to Raquel. Manson all the way to the hash mark again. Richards in front of his own net. Hounded by Cogliano, but he got it to Carcillo, who gets center red, and the Hawks will get a change.
We've seen that before, where the Ducks use the middle of the ice to break the puck out of their end under pressure. And that was a good example of that on behalf of the Blackhawks.
We'll keep an eye on Anderson as we approach 2 minutes to go in the game. Smith-Pelly pulls it in. Backhander got his own rebound, chipped it right through the goal crease. Back to the line, Vatanen shovels it across. There goes Anderson to the bench. Anaheim net is empty. Sixth attacker on as Kessler fights down low for it. Under 2 to play. Vatanen holds it in. Threw it to the net just wide. Strange bounce off the corner. Came back towards the middle of the ice. Hjalmarsson up the wall. Can't get it past Fowler. Skips across. Vatanen steps up. Good play by Sammy Vatanen. He took it away from Aduya. Hjalmarsson knifes it ahead. And Taves rolls it back. Vatanen chased by Hossa. Throws it ahead to center. Perry holds it. He's caught from behind by Hossa. And then Hossa bumped at the blue line by Perry, is down and in some pain. And he'll get the whistle. Well, it didn't look like all that much as Perry and Hossa collided at the blue line, but Hossa went down in a heap and didn't move much after that.
Well, Marian Hossa had stripped the puck away from Corey Perry, and Perry gave him a little bit of a shot with the stick. And it's right on the right hip of Marian Hossa. And a little bit surprised, quite honestly, that I don't think the referee saw the contact, John, because the Ducks had possession of the puck. They got the goaltender removed. They had it all the way back in the defensive zone and were about to mount a counter rush.
Well,
the referee blew it down. There's no penalty being called here.
Hossa makes his way back to the bench. We'll remind you to stay with us immediately following the game this afternoon here at Honda Center. It's Ducks Live, brought to you by Mazda. 3-1 Chicago with just 1:20 remaining in the game. Anderson has returned to the Anaheim goal crease with the faceoff coming from just outside the Ducks stripe. A relentless attack from the Hawks. They've kept the pressure on, but it's been a scoreless third. The Ducks have pushed back here in the last 4 or 5 minutes in an effort to try to draw even.
The referee come over, and Versteeg and Perry were joined.
There goes Anderson to the bench as it's tipped into the Chicago zone by Corey Perry. He seals it off out of the corner, went off his skate, but the Hawks able to move it back. Cross-ice pass comes to Kane, who deposits it into the empty net with just under a minute to go in the game, and that'll seal the deal for Chicago this afternoon.
Good puck movement by the Hawks that time, and Patrick Kane just knows where to go. He goes completely to the opposite side of the ice, and those fast hands of his make it almost impossible for Anaheim to get over and defend the shot. Versteeg knew exactly where he was, and Kane stays red hot.
He joins Taves now as the goal scoring leader for the Hawks. He has 2 today, 10 on the season. Versteeg will get a couple of assists in the game, and Chicago will improve to 4-1 on this road trip and put an end to Anaheim's 3-game winning streak. 4-1 now with only 40 seconds remaining in the game. Thompson to the far boards, can't get to it. Carcillo clears. Raquel holds it and then hit his own teammate with the pass. It went off of Nate Thompson. Brian Bickle rolls it into the Anaheim zone, stays with it from a bad angle over top of the net. 15 seconds left as it squirts to Matt Clark behind the Anaheim goal. His pass ahead for Bourque. Off his stick, they'll wave the icing as it goes the length of the sheet. And now I think we got a penalty call coming up behind the play.
Carcillo took a poke at Rennie Bourque. And I think he is going to go off.
And for all intents and purposes, Brian, all this does is hurt Anaheim's power play numbers. 5 seconds left in the game.
Carcillo sits. I mean, these are freebies here. Keep an eye on the top of your screen. Not much of one. It wasn't a flagrant violation by any stretch of the imagination.
That one's almost more insulting to the Ducks at this point in the game, that you're going to call that 6 seconds to go. It didn't get called all day.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Blackhawks come in to Anaheim. They know that Anaheim is shorthanded on the blue line, and they did what they had to do. And the best player on the ice, in my mind, was this guy right here. Duncan Keith, I thought, was sensational. Plays almost 25 minutes. He's a +3. He's got 1 assist up there, but he was fun to watch tonight.
And he's our Land Rover player of the game.
Yeah, difficult to get any kind of a forecheck going against him. Freddie Anderson was a close second star in this game. I thought he was absolutely brilliant as well.
A valiant effort from the shorthanded Ducks, but it falls short this afternoon.